You can look at the...
Who lies? Who's they? Who's lying?
I love how pointed your response is. No, this is factually incorrect.
At this point, John has to save people's vision. Like at this point, he has to.
Yeah, you're doing a community service.
You're like a PSA. Like, no, I can't allow you to post this comment without me.
What is up, heathens? If you guys didn't know, I posted up an eclipse video where apparently somebody was saying that the eclipse is a hoax, and now we're going to go through the comments. There's about 1,000 comments on that as of this recording, and I didn't want to go through all of them, but I did bring on a few friends of mine. We have Jason and Jeremy. So I hope I've interviewed Jeremy once before when we were talking about David Wood, who was supposedly a psychopath, and then he found Jesus. All right, guys, I know Jason has not seen any of these comments. Jeremy has seen a few. And so we're going to go through them, and we're going to respond to them. Now, I've tried to pick out the comments that have the most substance, I guess. So if you want to see all of the, hey, go kill yourselves, Mountain Dew. This has definitely been sponsored by Mountain Dew, so just believe in the eclipse because of Mountain Dew.
And the eclipse.
And NASA.
Yawn. What is ridiculous is to see Chicago all the way across Lake Michigan and say we're on a ball Earth. Or to see ships 60 miles out to sea, like I see with my eyes, see with a telescope. Numerous vids here on YouTube of balloons showing no curvature. Defund lying NASA now.
Are there that many balloons up there? They make it sound as if there's like 1 billion balloons up there and not one of them have found.
I tell you what, if somebody can take a picture of Chicago all the way across Lake Michigan from the furthest point, and you can see the entire landscape with none of it hidden below the horizon, I'll personally send them $100. I honestly, I will.
So I have a question, and we're going to hold you to that. Yeah. I have a question about NASA, because every time I see a comment, it's always NASA, NASA, NASA. But isn't NASA part of like just astrophysics and astronomy as a whole? Aren't they just part of that? Like, everybody blames NASA for this cover-up, but if they're going to blame anybody, shouldn't it be people like Lawrence Krauss and anybody else that looks at the sky for a living? Or because they make it as if NASA is like this top-notch company that's like in charge of all that.
Okay, first of all, it's NASA that you got to be worried about. Okay, secret NASA. That's the one that controls all of this big astrology shit or astronomy shit.
But how do we know about them then if they're a secret?
I don't know.
Because the people with the lowest education are the ones in the know.
Oh, gotcha.
No, it's just dumb. I mean, NASA literally is just our government's version of what every major college has or every other country, first world country has. It's just our version of it. It's nothing special.
Also, Miss Julie Bronson, we don't have to double space after our periods anymore. Jesus Christ.
Yes, you do.
Stop double spacing after periods, please.
No, you do. You don't believe in the Oxford comma either, do you?
Don't even know what it is.
Of course you don't.
Oxford? That sounds like some Illuminati shit.
I love how out of all the things this woman could have put in all caps, it was the word C. What is ridiculous is to see Chicago. Like, wow, you're so angry right there already.
Use vids on here on YouTube of balloons. Okay, so your evidence is YouTube videos.
Yeah.
Your argument is invalid, period. If that's all you have are YouTube videos of people explaining nonsense to you and you buying that nonsense.
If you're standing on a ball, the way your vision works, if you're standing on a...
Yeah.
Everything's going to...
I'm pretty sure that's going to come up again, so we can probably explain that later. Let's get to the next one.
Okay. Science is something can be replicated, correct? Can we take gravity and apply it to a ball and cause water to curve? Is there any experiment where we can use gravity to bend water?
Okay, so this is one of the stupidest fucking arguments I see constantly from these people. Water doesn't bend, it's always level. No, it's fucking not, you retard. But go ahead.
Elaborate. Like, let's say I thought this and I thought water can't curve. How would you convince me?
Well, here's the thing. They always think that water is level because you always see it as flat. You know, I'm not talking about waves,
yes,
or ripples or anything like that. They always see it as flat whenever they're looking at it because water always is lazy. You know what I mean? It'll always try and find the path of least resistance.
Right.
And so if you pour into a glass, it'll fill up the bottom first, then go to the top, and it'll level out of the top. So they expect that to be everywhere. But as the planet curves, it'll curve with it. It'll always be, that'll be the path of least resistance.
I think a lot of problems that a lot of flat earthers have is they don't understand how big things really are. They look at, talking about the eclipse, look at the shadowing and how is this possible? The sun's this much bigger than the moon. Well, there's also this thing called length. The sun's pretty far away. And I feel like a lot of these people don't grasp that, how if we had a large spherical object the way we do, as big as it is,
right,
it's not going to just curve like the way they think it curves.
Yeah. But, John, you have anything to add?
Yeah, well, I think that this particular misconception with flat earthers here is the whole idea of gravity. Like, they legit think that gravity is something that you can catch as something's falling and then throw it at something else, and then, like, that becomes this little miniature universe that attracts things. Like,
well, they can think that because we can create a comic book character with those abilities, and next thing you know, that turns out to be something we can actually do.
Well, I mean, I don't even get the first real question. I'm not going to count about the science as something that can be replicated, correct? Because that's just nonsense. That means they still don't understand what the fuck science is. But can we take gravity and apply it to a ball and cause water to curve? What? That literally makes no sense.
Can we manipulate gravity and make it do something?
It has nothing to do with gravity.
So no, we can't, I guess, take gravity.
No, the answer to that is no, because it's a bullshit question. It makes no sense.
Someone needs
Am I really the only one that's going to comment on his name?
Fellatio, yeah. I said it right away, and then everybody fucking interrupted me.
Oh, sorry.
I'm used to that shit by now.
Leave it to fucking Jason to notice the fellatio first.
It was the first thing I noticed.
It was
Me and Jason.
Actual
fist bump.
It's just that I don't want to stoop to their level, so I didn't even look at the name.
I'll do it.
I'll do you. Blowjob ramen.
But I mean, these are the same people that deny that gravity even exists. Like, they think that it's purely just density moving through lower density things.
Don't forget about electromagnetics too.
Oh yeah.
Have these guys actually tried doing experiments without having gravity as part of the equation to see if those experiments can be replicated?
No, they haven't.
So all they do, they're like politicians. They just talk shit about the other side without showing how they're great.
The funny thing is, okay, if you were to take 5 different liquids that were separated by density, right? So you had, I'm not even going to go through the 5, but if you just 5 different liquids, and then you were to take away gravity, gravity was just gone. They'd all mix because it's dependent. Gravity, density is dependent on gravity.
There was somebody that was in some cave system. They saw, like, they were in the water, and underwater there was, like, another ocean because the liquid
salinity.
Yeah, and you could see the waves washing up. And they're in the water, and they could see waves washing up. It was pretty cool.
You guys ready for the next one?
Oh,
yes, we are.
Casey's over here like, yes, please.
Beautiful.
Dane Highfield. Hi, Dane.
I can't say whether or not I even agree with you because your argument is so absurd that it's non-existent. You've proven nothing, debunked nothing, espoused nothing, exposed something.
Nothing.
Espoused was not a word. You sound like a 15-year-old pothead, making fun of his friend for believing something other than what's been taught in school. I can't even discern you augment through all the sarcasm.
Well, let me say right off the bat, I'm a 37-year-old pothead making fun of my friends for believing something other than...
Now, here's my issue. Let's say that I didn't watch your video, right? Because your argument is so absurd that it's non-existent. What argument? As far as I know, knowing that the video that you were, because we did watch the video that you were talking about, I could see dozens of places where you could have made a valid counter argument. So which one of those? You've proven nothing. No. Debunked nothing. Well, I mean, this comment. They typed a lot of words for somebody who said nothing.
Well, the problem
nothing
too,
in all caps.
The problem too is part of the video that kind of made me real was the part where he was trying to use the Bible to show or to prove whatever point he was trying to prove. What was it? The flat Earth or the eclipse? I can't remember.
No, you trying to use the Bible to show that the Earth doesn't move.
Oh, that's what it was. Yeah, and my thing is, for someone like me, one of the reasons why I'm an atheist because the validity of the Bible went away. So if you're going to try to prove something like a flat Earth or that the Earth doesn't move or whatever, if you want to spread that to the masses, there's a lot of people who don't look at the Bible as any sort of absolute truth. So that's not going to help me anything. So to me, that would be me being a 37-year-old pothead making fun of my friends for trying to prove to me something that I ain't.
I mean, I like that point that they brought up, that making fun of his friend for believing something other than what's been taught in school. It's not that it's taught in school, it's what's observable and testable and repeatedly testable.
Yeah.
It's falsifiable. So it's not just a belief, it's a fact. You know, it's one thing if you make fun of your friend for saying Coke is better than Pepsi or vice versa, right? That's one thing. People talk shit about each other for that stuff all the time, but we're talking about facts here, not a belief system.
And the other thing, too, is a lot of us actually love sarcasm. And so I feel like Dane Highfield needs to work on learning how to listen to arguments through all that sarcasm because it can be really fun. It's a very fun way of living life. So...
Well, okay, so for my official response to this, I like Jeremy, I would love to know what argument is so absurd.
Yeah.
The factual arguments that I made in it were, one, the moon does not produce its own light. There is nothing composed in the moon that would make it produce its own light.
There is no way for the moon to produce its own light. There's nothing. There's no chemical reaction going on up there for it to.
Right. So that's pretty decent argument. So yeah.
Right. Then another one was that him saying that you can look at the sun during the eclipse, or you can look at the sun, or anything like that. Like, nobody in the scientific field is going to tell you that you can't look at the sun without or with proper protection. Like I get comments. There are a slew of comments on this video about how you can look. Like, there's this one guy who says, "I looked at the sun for 15 minutes. I got 20/20 vision."
Well,
Can I say something about that real quick?
Yeah.
These people. Okay, so people have heard of sun gazing, right? When you look at the sun just before sunset or just before sunrise. That's okay because of the angle. You know, you're seeing the light, but you're not getting the UV radiation. That's where the problem is. You can get eye damage from surfing or snowboarding or fishing. You don't have to look. You don't have to look directly at the sun to get the effects of the UV radiation. But it sure doesn't help if you're looking directly at the source from the ultraviolet lights or rays.
Well, if you can look at the sun, do people need to wear welding masks anymore? And if that's the case, are welding mask companies going to go out of business? That's what I'm worried about. I feel like these people are trying to put those people out of business for maybe somebody fucked somebody's sister, and now everyone's like, fuck the welding mask companies. You can look at the sun. You don't need to wear these masks anymore. That's my...
You know what? Hey, flat earthers, do us a favor. go out tomorrow afternoon at noon, exactly at noon, and stare at the sun for an hour, please.
Just to prove, maybe, you know.
Yeah, just to prove us wrong.
Yeah.
And maybe you'll be too blind.
Take a video, have somebody film you looking straight at the sun.
Then maybe you'll be too blind to leave comments like this.
And then pray for your vision to return and see how that happens.
Now, we want to put a disclaimer out there. We're telling you that it's not a good idea and you shouldn't do it.
Don't do it.
But for science reasons, if you really want to prove it to us, it's up to you. It's
for science.
For science.
For saying if you do it, you're a dumbass.
Yeah. It's on you.
Period.
But
it's your call.
Okay, so the next bit that I responded to factually was the fact that he said that the Van Allen radiation belt is the firmament talked about in the Bible.
All right, that's bullshit.
All right.
Next.
I mean, I totally made fun of his entire Bible presentation and everything like that.
I can't even comment on a Bible anything because it just doesn't. I'm not going to take a
nonsense
book that was written by people.
Tell him about the whole part where he was quoting Psalms.
Oh yeah, this is one of the things. I saw a lot in a lot of the Bible verses. A lot of it was taken from Psalms, but Psalms is like the sci-fi fantasy part of the Bible. It's a bunch of poetry. There's songs. There's a lot of lamenting. You know, the whole babies getting bashed against rocks. Nobody was telling anybody to do that. It was some guy lamenting because his whole all his people got wiped out. So he was lamenting about bashing on the people. You know, it's crying, it's music, it's psalms. It's not like, hey, this is the part of the Bible that is fact, right? And so to quote anything from Psalms is essentially quoting the sci-fi fantasy part of a make-pretend piece of literature. So you're going like double fucking retard, you know, when you start quoting from Psalms as a way to prove your fucking point right. It was like the dumbest, and it was a couple of the of the quotes that he put up were from Psalms about the earth not moving. I'm like, you are a fucking idiot.
You can look at the...
Huh? Who lies? Who's they? Who's lying?
I love how pointed your response is. No, this is factually incorrect.
So at this point, John has to save people's vision. Like at this point, he has to.
Yeah, you're doing a community service. At this point.
You're like a PSA. Like, no, I can't allow you to post this comment without me.
Oh my god.
I know for me, like I have sunlight sensitivity, where like if I get a glimpse of, you know how it causes that shit in your eye, like you can't see for a second? Well, that messes with my head, gives me bad headaches. But like, if that right there, if I just glimpse at somebody's car mirror and it fucks with my eyes like that, that's the sun reflecting off the mirror. So if that fucks me up, what's staring at the sun gonna do to me?
Yeah,
But royally fuck you up?
It's a bad idea. I mean, it's a joke. It's even used as an insult. Like, why don't you just go outside and stare at the sun for a while? That's what you say to like somebody you think is stupid.
Or somebody you don't want to talk to you. You want to.
Yeah, it's tantamount to telling somebody to eat paint chips or that they have eaten way too many paint chips.
Or go play
exactly.
Or when somebody tells somebody else to kill themselves on the internet.
Hashtag drink bleach.
KYS faggot.
All right, this is one of my favorite ones.
Breath. But it says breath. It doesn't even say breathe. It says breath.
I will breath better, guys.
Kofi Bokai, just he won the internet.
Kofi, you're the man, Kofi, or woman. I'm not going to assume your gender.
Boyakai. That sounds like a name you'd put in Mortal Kombat if you're modding the game. Kofi Boyakai fights with a boa. Stop eating, you will breathe better.
You'll breath better.
Your breath
better.
Breath better. It's the action. Breath.
Oh,
it's not
man.
the action.
I mean, okay, I was gonna wait until the
breathe is the action.
Oh, okay.
I was gonna wait until the end to say this, but do any of these flat earthers have decent grammar? Do any of them? But so far, we have not seen a single one where the grammar or spelling has been impeccable.
Even the video you watched, the guy, he was like, couldn't speak. And I'm not the best fucking speaker, but goddamn. I think all of their knowledge, like the entirety of their brain is taken up by this research. They don't have time to focus. They don't have time to focus on writing words. What are words?
Yeah, they got
it's
YouTube.
more or less like
spread.
It's more like research.
Autistic screeching.
You better watch out. Christy Winters is going to come get you.
Oh, shit.
Dude, you are a dork. I bet you Dean Wright isn't allowed to cuss because his mom will spank him.
Look at this. 5
Dude, you are a... Mom, is dork okay? Yeah. Dork.
Look at this.
Make sure you put it in all caps, though, son. Dude, you are a dork.
I mean, look. I hate to say it, but like, it's a 5-word sentence, and he still forgets a fucking comma. Like, what the hell? Come on, guys, you're killing me here.
Okay, here's a serious one. How come we don't get eclipses from other planets rotating in the solar system? Or did the cosmic accident of the Big Bang happen to just make sure all the planets rotated at unaligned points and traveling at the exact same velocity?
Yeah.
So this person assumes that somebody caused first of all, they assume that on other planets all throughout the solar system there are no eclipses, but then they're also assuming that eclipses on our planet were put there for a purpose.
Wait. Is he asking, like, how come Jupiter doesn't come between us and the sun?
Yes.
Yeah.
Is that what he's honestly asking?
Yeah.
Yes.
Jeff. Dude, come on, man. Geoff. Jeff B. Dude, come on. You can't be that dumb. I know, okay, I like this. Or did the cosmic accident, quote unquote, of the Big Bang happen to make sure... Okay, first of all, the Big Bang had nothing to do with our solar system, not directly.
Right.
You know, the Big Bang made a star, and then that star went supernova and spilled its guts, and that became our solar system. But, so yeah, the Big Bang didn't directly make our solar system, so no.
We're like star vomit?
Huh?
We're like star vomit?
We're not... Yeah. I mean, we're not going to necessarily get an eclipse in any fashion from our planet on Saturn or something like that. But I'm sure if you're on Saturn, I'm sure shit eclipses all the time. Or am I wrong on that?
Well,
okay, so the reason...
I think this person assumes that eclipses only happen on our planet, as if it was some special thing.
I think this dude thinks that Jupiter one day, like, hey guys, how's it going? And pass between us and the sun.
Please let that be it. Please.
Did you assume Jupiter's gender?
Yeah, I can't figure out what he's trying to ask.
Well, okay, so how come
the word from other planets rotating in the solar system? So that means, like, you know, how come we don't get eclipse from...
But he's not that stupid. That's why I don't think he's asking that, because there's nobody that's that stupid.
You're seriously underestimating these people, Jason.
Yeah.
He's legit asking, why don't other planets pass in front of the sun, and why don't we bask in their shadow?
Okay, well, there are other planets in between us and the sun, but they're not big enough to...
No, they do. Just let them have this one. They do. Jupiter passes between Earth and the sun. Let's on to the next one. I can't. All right? It's true, Jeff. Everything you said is true. I don't know.
Well, okay, look, the only reason why we perceive the eclipse as we do is because the shadow is cast upon the Earth. That's why we see the totality and everything like that.
Right.
And stop me if I'm wrong, but I mean that's my understanding of it. And so, like, there are eclipses that happen where the shadow doesn't pass across the face of the Earth. And we don't see those eclipses, like,
right? Because
anywhere.
they're too high or too low, so we don't.
Right.
It's like as the Earth is here, you know, the shadow would pass up here or pass down here. So yeah,
it's vantage point, really. It's just a matter of
all vantage point.
So basically, you're saying perspective, motherfucker. Learn it.
No, it absolutely is, because, like, if the sun is here and the moon is here or whatever, and the earth is here or whatever, and then the shadow would come up here, if we were higher up, we would have an eclipse. If our vantage point was higher up.
We might have to let Jeff go. I don't think even perspective is just way too simple. Let's just let this one be the one that failed us, or that we failed, and we'll move on to the next one because
Sorry, Jeff.
I don't think we can help Jeff.
I hope Jeff got home okay because I'm not sure if he remembers how to walk.
Probably looked at the sun. Looks like your video has been just like, look. You can have,
oh my God! This info.
You could have the best video on the planet, and there's going to be some motherfucker out there that doesn't like you that's going to dislike your video. So it's par for the course. You post a YouTube video, you're going to get disliked. This doesn't mean shit.
Yeah, with our videos, we had one person come up like every time we post a new video, within the first 2 minutes, they disliked
it. Yeah.
It's the same asshole every time.
Well, okay, so on this particular video, we had this one account, Jesus Saves.
Oh,
into
God, it was
50,
crazy.
Yeah, he logged into 50 different sock accounts to dislike the video 50 times.
That's awesome, man.
See, look, okay.
That's dedication. I respect that.
Yeah, and then on everybody who commented in favor of the video, he's like, triggered. And I loved KC's response, like, they're triggered. You're the one who logged into 50 fucking accounts.
Yeah. Fuck,
Did you see my response to his comment about my lady bits?
Oh, we're getting to that.
Oh, we're going to do that one?
Yeah.
Okay, I just want to say, like, I don't know what it is about flat earthers and being anti-Semitic, but, I mean, Jesus Christ, look at this guy's name.
Yeah.
Number one Jew.
What about Jesus Christ there? Unless that's what he's saying. Is he saying he's Jesus Christ?
I don't know, man, but these people have a hard-on for the Jewish folk.
Hey, they have money.
They call John a Jew so many times. Like,
Really?
they call John a Jew constantly.
The Jewish shill.
Hispanic,
Jewish
too. That's awesome.
Oh, wow. Wait, you're Hispanic?
You dumb
I'm
fuck.
I'm Puerto Rican.
Oh, we can't have this conversation.
Fuck.
You're at my house, motherfucker.
All right, here's Jeff again.
Oh, nice.
Oh, we love Jeff.
Did you really just compare direct light from a flashlight a couple inches away from your eye to the light from an object 93 million miles away? Okay.
I need more context.
Okay, I think I remember this comment. This is one where you said you weren't even. He was saying that, look, the reason why we can look at the sun, or the reason we can look at the moon and look at the sun is because of how little light the moon actually reflects.
From the sun.
He said if you were to take that same amount of light and cut a flashlight's power or intensity down by that much, you could probably flash it in your eye and it wouldn't do as much damage as if you had it on full power.
Right.
It was just like around, 3 to 11%?
12, yeah.
So you did compare, but he simplified. He obviously didn't listen to what you were saying.
No.
Because that makes sense.
Yeah.
That's
Well, and I mean, you get like Q beams. I mean, I don't know if they get the same intensity as the sun is, but I mean, you can compare like the intensity of the light that we get from the sun here on Earth to some kind of light source near here. I mean, you can compare that. It's not comparing the sun full bore, like, 3 miles away from it. It's not the same thing.
So, way to go, Jeff.
Yeah, good job, Jeff. I hope we get more of these because it's making me think.